Learn to be super successful. Subscribe to my channel, Meathead. On his testicles and drug him across the parking lot about 60, 70 meters. Blood, flesh, all kind of shit spewing out. The union never was late on a payment ever again. Fear works. I'm not suggesting in any way, shape, manner, or form you do this. So when he's telling me the story, or not the story, what he wants to do, and I knew Wayne Huizenga back in the day. He did 3 roll-ups. I believe waste management. He also did one of the first chicken roll-ups. I can't remember what the name of it was. And he also did where you used to rent movies on the old, when you used to play the old movies and videos, etc. He did that roll-up. Okay, now go ahead with your story.
Okay, so my affirmation is my board and I easily completed our goal of taking our company to a multi-trillion valuation, acquiring more than 80% market share of the entire domestic and international market.
Okay, it's not you and your board, it's you. Okay, these are your goals. Part of your goals may be laid off, so to speak, like a gambler on individuals. Part of your goals, because you can't accomplish that without a team participating. You can't accomplish that without a team. You're only as good as you surround yourself with the team, your teammates, as Roberto and a couple others have said. So it's you. Some goals will be what's called under the skin goals, personal goals. I had 3 personal goals, in other words, that I didn't share, because at some level, your goals sound like you're a psychopath. So 3 of my goals, one was to be on Mount Rushmore. I decided at that time that was probably a bridge too far for people to accept. The other one was Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, and me. I also thought that was probably a bridge too far for people to accept. And the third goal was to become a saint in the Catholic Church, which is probably still a goal that's probably a bridge too far. Not for the church to accept. I'm in like Flynn with them, but and my goal is to be a saint, be quicker than Mother Teresa was, which was the fastest. Now, those are the kind of goals I set. All of them over the top, all of them bodacious, all of them a little crazy. But to me, that's no crazier than when Obama said he was going to be damn president, sitting there as a 19-year-old, about 19, I think he was, in Whittier College. I've never talked to anybody that was sitting in that circle with him. I would love to talk to somebody that's been sitting in that circle with him. But they're crazy goals. Okay. Another goal and affirmation, please. Yes, sir.
I want to be the richest person in the Czech Republic.
Okay, so that's the goal.
That's the goal. And the affirmation is...
cut you out, right? But he's... okay.
He is the second.
Oh, okay. He's cut you out. He's already left you for dead, bleeding out in the gutter.
He will be the first albino. Well.
Okay, go ahead.
And I am happily and easily the richest person in the Czech Republic. That's the affirmation.
Okay, well, the affirmation could and should include, not just happily and easily, is I am happily surprised with such ease. Money flows to me. In my judgment, my experience has been you can't have any too many adjectives, adverbs that are in conjunction with you expressing how easy it is. Again, your subconscious doesn't know you're full of shit. You saw TK. Now, a lot of things had to happen for him to do that. I'm not demeaning or taking away anything from his success. But if you had been sitting in the room when he came through the seminar in August of 2021, that was the kid smoking, You wouldn't have believed. Now, maybe 1 or 2 of you might have believed. Or maybe 1 or 2 of you, I should say, would have wanted to believe, because if he can do it, then you can do it. But when I set the goal for a castle on an island in the spring of 1983, that was pretty over the top. That's pretty over the top. And a lot of things had to happen. Okay. Got it?
Got it.
Another goal, affirmation, please. Okay, Nigeria.
One of the goals is that I want to take one of our healthcare and hotel group consortiums public with a combined valuation of £2 billion.
Billion,
billion pounds, yeah. So the affirmation is, I'm happily living the dream life to see list on London Stock Exchange with a combined market capitalization of 25 billion.
Okay. More adjectives, you can say the first. I would say you should add 20, add a couple zeros. When I said I was going to be the 50th largest energy company, and I should have said the 5th or the 1st. And some of the deals that I worked on back then, but I never put me in a position to be the 1st or the 2nd or the 3rd. But I did want to be in the top 5 CEO earners of energy companies, which I was. You have no idea, and these are things that you share with yourself. You share with yourself. Now, he didn't say he wanted to, my goal is to come back and be the first honest president of Nigeria and fix all the black problems, shit like that. We've had people here go down that road. Yeah, okay. We had a guy that was from, I think was it Kenya, and his last name, and his his uncle was president, and his father was a former minister of energy, same last name. And I connected the dots, and I said, "Is that you?" No, it's my family. And he is now rolling up shit in Kenya, and now I'm assuming it's all honestly, but that's probably a bridge too far as well. Okay, another goal, another affirmation, please. Yes, sir.
I want to be on the QLA Wall of Fame. The affirmation is, I am easily and effortlessly earning my way onto the QLA Wall of Fame as quickly as humanly possible.
Okay. I would say past tense, I've earned my place, and I did it as quickly as humanly possible. It's not like we're going to have we have kind of a half-assed Nobel laureate up there. He didn't get the Nobel Prize, but he was in consideration. So he's my quasi-half-assed Nobel laureate. Very successful guy. And success begets success. When you join these clubs that you can't afford, and you're using lawyers and accounting firms that are at the top, and you change those 5 people that you spent most time with, mom, brother, sister, uncle, whatever, your life will change. Just as I got that phone call on New Year's Eve from the billionaire guy, passed away now. And just as Bunker Hunt decided I didn't have to pay those millions of dollars that I didn't have, special things happen. Another goal and affirmation. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
I am eagerly and enthusiastically, with great ease and comfort, increasing my net worth by 1.5 billion or more each quarter.
Okay. That actually sounds like good English, too. Okay. I would expect nothing less. Now, I can almost guarantee 1,000%, although we've talked, but we didn't talk about this. She didn't have any goals that approached $6 billion a year, like she's got $1.5 billion a quarter. Is that fair to say before you got here? Yeah. Okay. And I've seen so many come to fruition. And not always, but almost always, they say, my goals should have been higher when they achieve them. Or Dan, why didn't you make me have more grandiose goals? I'm not here in the business of making you do anything. I'm leading you, but except for 2 or 3 exceptions on that wall, they all say they set their goals too low. 2 or 3. And they've, made from hundreds of millions to multi-billions. Multi-billions. Some of them say they should have had their goals associated with giving back sooner. Because I waited till I was 60 before I even contemplated giving anything back to anybody the last 17 years. And I'm not complaining about this. When you've made all this money and you set up, giving back programs are time consuming. I remember when Sally and I interviewed charities, when I was 59, 16, 61, various charities around the world. And the first thing, Sally would ask for the books. Well, about half the charities wouldn't give us the books. And then when we finally got the books, they were like quick books. Only 4 or 5 of the big ones had audited books, the kind I want you to see. And the average for most charities in the world is between 60 and 70% actually goes to the charity, the kids or whoever it is. And the other 30 to 40% is on golf tournaments, balls, pissing it down the rat hole, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And in some cases, political contributions. There's only 3 charities that we found that more than 90% goes to what it's supposed to. Okay? 4 actually. The Boy Scouts of America, Red Cross, Mother Teresa, 99% goes to the kids. They have no phones, no TVs, no cars, and they live 100% on donations. I tried to give them habits for Christmas 8 or 10 years ago, and I sent my crack staff to go measure the nuns for habits. You know, the things they wear? And so Sister Gloriosa, who was a Korean nun, who was the head gal, said, after they measured 2, 3 nuns, why does Mr. Peña want our measurements? And they weren't supposed to tell him, but Jack, my head of security, said, he wants to buy you new habits for Christmas. Because, they're wearing them, when I say they're threadbare and holes falling off, he says, oh no, God will give us when we need it. So when nuns died, they took the habit off the dead nun and we put it on a live one. And normally they stop, and none of the habits fit. They'd give you a habit that was for a 5'10" nun. And so it looks like, the Three Stooges, the way they were dressed. And so, but they said, no, instead of habits, could we have more rice? Little girls like you are carrying these 100-pound bags of rice. God blesses us with strong legs and strong back to be able to do the work for the kids. So we give most of our money to them. Second, and there's 2 or 3 that over 90%. So when you get into that, it's a full-time program. It takes time if you do it right. And I would not delegate it to anybody else because I don't know if it makes me feel so good, but Sally says it makes me feel good to see. And then we've seen kids now, because we've been doing it long enough, that have grown up. I hate to say, we got from the shitbag slums, we got lawyers. We got doctors. We try to divert them from law, but because we want them to have more than a 50-50 chance of being reputable, but we've got lawyers. And it's quite refreshing. Okay, other aspiration, please. Okay, is this a Nigerian deal?
No. So what do you do when your mind plays trick on you when you're saying those goals? Because sometimes...
Well, I say in the beginning, by the second or third or fourth week, it will become rote. Rote, is that the right word? Rote. And you'll just say them. And they'll become, and directly or indirectly, subconsciously, decisions you're going to make while you're awake in the daytime will be diverted to, practices that will help you fulfill that. When John Kennedy said that we're going to land man on the moon, blah, 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 there were tens of thousands of employees in the Air Force and at IBM and these other places that diverted their efforts, founded NASA, and we were able to put a guy on the moon in July. And that my buddy Pete Conrad was the third guy to walk on the moon. Your body, it will change. It's like, let's say, he went on a mission, TK, right? Okay. He went on a mission based on his religious beliefs. Or more importantly, the religious beliefs that he was trained under or through. Okay. When you ask a 6-year-old, he wasn't 6 when he did it, we're going to train you this way so you can go sell and give away Bibles every Sunday and Saturday and dress up in a little suit and knock on doors and have doors slammed in your face. There's not many 5, 6, and 7-year-olds who can say, that thing's great. I want to do that, as opposed to go play with your friends. It's what you get used to. It's your social and economic milieu. It's the background. And because his parents are out doing Bibles, it must be what you do. You go out and get doors slammed in your face when you want to sell the Lord. You will feel strange. If you don't feel strange, then the goals aren't big enough. If you don't feel strange, one of my goals when I got back out of the military was I wanted to go through school. I wanted to finish a 4-year degree because all my units were Fs and Ds, almost all. I had a C. Fs and Ds, and so when I went back to school, none of those grades counted. So I said I wanted to graduate with honors, 4-year degree in 2 years. It took me 2 years and a quarter. So, and I got 1 B, so I didn't get all straight A's. And I remember going back to the statistics professor, trying to cut a deal, because he was the only non-A I had. He said, you should have thought of that. I wanted to choke his little fucking skinny neck. He was a Princeton guy, and it would have been my first Princeton neck I snapped. But I got a B. And so, but that was an under-the-skin goal I had, because when I got special dispensation to come back on probation after having all the Fs and bad stuff grades, plus all the bad shit I did on campus, I didn't tell anybody that I was going to get straight A's when I went back to school. So I kept that to myself. Okay, other affirmation, please. Yes.
The goal is my family and I are represented only by world-class people across all areas of our lives. And I am happily and easily enjoying working with world-class people across all areas of my family and I's life.
Okay, now that all areas includes religion, health, sex, and rock and roll, right? I mean, everything. You can increase your budget, and you shouldn't have a budget. When you're dealing with world-class people, it's always more expensive, unless they're doing stuff for pro bono, okay? I would not have and I do a lot of stuff pro bono. My life is split up until this political endeavor was split up half pro bono, half active. Now it's a third pro bono, a third, because I'm still training you guys, and a third political, which is pro bono because I'm not making any money. Okay, another goal, another affirmation. Okay, Sweet Pea, you.
I'm happily and easily enjoying being the youngest first female to take my company public on the planet.
Let me see. I don't know any young gals that have taken the company public. I may be just out of touch because I'm a sexist, chauvinist, but I don't. Okay. Okay, so was that the goal and the affirmation? Okay. Okay. I'm surprised I don't know any ladies, gals. The only one that I know is the pharma gal that's going to jail. She's a Stanford dropout who conned a lot of very smart people to be on her board for a product that supposedly she knew didn't work after the scientific test, but by the time that went to shit, I think she was already in her 30s. Yeah.
I think it's Bumble.
Is that Bumble?
30. With an IPO, right?
Yeah.
A woman with an IPO. Bumble. Whitney something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Whitney Wolf. She did it at 31. So if I have to be the youngest, I have to do it before that.
How old was she?
She did it at 31.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's the one. And she went to the big house. Lion, I don't know if she, I always used to say, I'm sure she's a fine person. I have no basis to say that. She may be a witch personified, but it's hard when my grandmother used to say, if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything. That was extremely difficult for me growing up because I rarely had anything good to say about anybody. But I'm going to live by my grandmother's guidance and not say anything bad about her, but she did get in trouble. Okay, anybody else? Yes, sir.
I want to have a painted self-portrait at the Louvre.
At the Louvre?
Louvre.
Ah.
So my goal is, I am joyfully and with great pleasure viewing my self-portrait painting in the Louvre, which is being viewed by millions of people every day.
So you're going to paint it yourself? Do you paint?
I'm going to stand like a hero, like you.
Okay, thank you. Well, just a little bit, because I know a little bit about the portraits, because of mine. And you're going to see the full portrait of that tonight in the castle. It's 10 feet tall. I had a world-class portrait painter, Howard Morgan, paint it. He then painted my wife. He painted the Queen, Gorbachev, and all kinds of people. And mine won 1987 Portrait Something of the Year, and then traveled 15 months around the world to the Louvre. And the security for it and the insurance fucking almost broke me because they're going to tour it, but they're not paying for the goddamn insurance. And the painting was valued at a lot of money. And so it came around. And then my wife, and this is my first wife, the next year he painted her. And hers came in second. And I'm not sorry about that. Actually, I chuckled. Then her painting got toured around. And when you stand for a portrait like that, it's normally between 60 and 80 hours you stand for the normal person. And you will have muscles in your body that you didn't even know you had get stiff and they give you a break every 60 to 90 minutes. And I didn't have time for that. So I stood 3 times, 5 hours, 4 hours, and 4 hours. And the dog there, Driller, wasn't there for, he stood, and they went out and got some homeless guy and put on my coat and my boots, and Driller stood next to him, or sat next to him like he's sitting there, because I couldn't spend the hours. I didn't have the time. But it's well worthwhile. I mean, and so I would recommend expensive venture. And I didn't do it as an investment, although they tell me it's worth 25 or 30 times what I paid, and I paid a lot of money for it. So that's fine. Any other goals or affirmations? Okay, YouTube. Goodbye.